My name is Allison Beck, and I'm going to summarize Group 3's team discussion number 1. Our first discussion was an introduction to differentiating instruction with technology through the use of our course text. This week in our discussion, we were able to share our knowledge and experiences to deepen our understanding of the content from the course text. We also challenged our group members with further discussion questions. Some of these questions we were able to answer, while others we are hoping to learn more about throughout the course. Differentiated instruction is the strategy of providing learners with multiple avenues for success. We can differentiate the content, process, or product, which means we can provide multiple approaches for how students learn and demonstrate their knowledge. This allows for differences in how individual students will connect with the information. Doing this is acknowledging our students' diverse readiness levels, interests, and learning styles. Differentiation can be done in whole class, group, or individual settings. All of this works together to increase student growth, motivation, and efficiency. When thinking about differentiation, there are many misconceptions out there. Our group had heard many of these ideas and even thought some of them ourselves. It is important to know that it does not mean assigning different groups of students more or fewer problems or activities, or giving a different assignment for each student, which some refer to as individualized instruction. Many teachers also assume that if different groups of students are receiving content, processing, or demonstrating their knowledge in all different ways, that the classroom will be chaotic. This is not true, even though the teacher is not controlling every aspect of the student's learning. One of the key components to differentiating instruction is to be proactive. Having a better understanding of student abilities and content strategies helps educators build a more effective differentiated curriculum. Pre-assessments and reflecting on the effectiveness of different academic strategies are important pieces of being able to be proactive. Knowing this information will allow us to develop different learning options before the lesson begins. Having these different learning options prepared ahead of time increases the likelihood that the student's needs will be met. If we only have one learning option available, it is very likely that the option will only work for a specific group of students. A well-planned lesson will allow for engagement and success of all students. Another important component of differentiated instruction is assessment. There are 3 ways that assessment is important to differentiated instruction. First, assessments, which include pre-assessments, formative, and summative assessments, based on clear learning targets, help determine students' needs. We need to always be aware of where our students are in order to know we are providing appropriate learning options for our students. Another reason assessments are important in differentiated instruction is that we can also differentiate the assessments themselves. By differentiating assessments, we can allow for student choice and multiple paths for the students to demonstrate their knowledge. Allowing the students to choose from multiple assessment options makes the assessments and learning more meaningful for the students. In addition, after the lesson, it is important to reflect on the assessment results to improve future differentiated lessons for these and future students. Differentiated instruction is important for all students. This week, we specifically discussed how differentiated instruction helps meet the needs of both struggling and advanced learners. These 2 groups of students have some similarities and differences among their needs. Both of these groups of students experience self-doubt and failure. However, their needs for dealing with these are different for each group. Advanced learners experience self-doubt through occasional failure. These students are used to being successful and need to be challenged to ensure they are always increasing their knowledge and understanding of topics and to be prepared for dealing with failure in the future. In contrast, struggling learners experience self-doubt through repeated failure. It is our goal as educators to help them experience success and help them learn that success is possible for them. While these groups of students have differences, it is important for both of our advanced and struggling learners to have the feeling of completing a challenging task and succeeding. There are many ways that differentiating instruction with technology improves student performance. Technology allows us to be flexible and improves the ability to collaborate in and out of school. Another way that technology improves student performance is by having access to the internet and digital mediums that provide more and better opportunities for students to be creative and have equal access to resources. With the use of technology, more learning styles can be effectively engaged on a regular basis. Technology provides opportunities for students to be more self-directed and not led by the teacher at all times. Technology also provides a safe environment where student projects can be created and submitted with more privacy, which protects students from having the level of their work compared to others. There are 9 strategies that are most likely to help student learning. Throughout our discussion this week, our group focused our discussion on 4 of these strategies. The first strategy we discussed is number 1, recognizing similarities and differences. Our students are as different in the way they are educationally as the way they are in their physical appearance. As educators, we need to develop lessons and assessments that engage and encourage students to do their best given their similarities and differences. Another instructional category that improves student learning that our group discussed is number 2, summarizing information and taking notes. These are strategies that facilitate student understanding and engage the students in a meaningful way. 2 examples of tools for summarizing information and taking notes that our group members have used both as teachers and as students are Cornell Notes and guided note sheets. These are both excellent examples of ways to engage students in summarizing and note-taking. Our group discussed the instructional category of number 3, reinforcing and providing recognition. Students who receive positive feedback for their efforts are more likely to be engaged. We encourage you to watch the video titled A Study on Praise and Mindsets by Carol Dweck. This video explains the results of research on how different types of positive praise impact students differently. This video made us reflect on the praise we give students on a regular basis. The last instructional category that we discussed is number 7, setting objectives and providing feedback. Students need more than a letter grade or score at the top of their paper. Students need to be given objectives and feedback in the form of specific learning targets. Rubrics and checklists are one way we can provide students with more insight as to where they are being successful and where they need improvement. Rubrics and checklists can also engage and empower students through self-evaluation and peer evaluation. This last slide contains the text that guided our discussion this week, as well as where our images in this presentation were retrieved from. Please let us know if you have any questions or comments regarding our team discussion this week. Thank you for listening.